really, really, really sorry. Sorry. Call it the tea is something very famous there. It's called uh, what's that? Which means spring. Yeah. So who's there? It's hard to find time. That's why you have to record and then edit and then upload, and takes some time. But yeah, let's see here if I can get also if I can go live also on the other channel. I'm not sure. So quick brief about me. My name is Adam. I was a lawyer a long time ago, and then I switched career. I had different vision of myself. So I was working in a company in Egypt back on 2013 and to travel. I was an expat. So basically I went my first visit, actually my first time to travel at all from Egypt. And I was lucky to go to Carmona because Carmona Cavite is really awesome. So no, it was not only me. There were a total of 29 people, 30, including me 30. Yeah. And it was just a blast. After a year, I met my wife, and yeah, well, she didn't give a really a shit about me. I find my way to win her heart. Yeah, I can go live here too. My phone sucks. Eh. So far, I have only one watching me, which is enough. Anyone hear me? I hope so. I can test that. Hello? Filipino or not, but let me tell you something about the Philippines. I don't understand. Uh, well, since this is my personal vlog, it's not a family vlog, so I guess I'm allowed to smoke cigarettes and drink my tea, because and this is actually my cave. This is my cave, my room. Yeah. Once you travel abroad, you see things in a different way. So, for example, how did I see the Philippines before, and how do I see it now? Before, I was when Miss Universe, except the last one, who travel our country. Like we don't need to go out anywhere. Only few of us go to travel the world, Europe, U.S., Turkey, and of course they go to Asia as well. But the majority, they just like they don't. When you feel like I don't feel like traveling, this is the Egyptians. Life is good there. So I never thought that I'm gonna travel anywhere in general. But the funny thing, company, it's American company, it's outsourced in Egypt and other countries. Before they shut down, I will need to go to the mother of this field. So, for example, it's been known that if you're an engineer, you always think about Germany because of the machines and you're good in the machines and stuff like that. If you want to be, so every field there is a country that doing that for so long. So for the outsourcing, the first country close to my mind is the Philippines. I was checking online. Okay, so how much is the visa on my own? I never thought that the account will close. So okay, so this is the visa. Where's the embassy in Cairo? Okay, okay, okay. Let me see here. Okay, so the flights. Okay, okay. So I think I need to save money for the flight. This way, if you don't, if you haven't planned certain things to happen in your life, so you don't have to worry about it. Because if you are not the one in control, it means God in control. Of course, God in control every time, but the idea of this never, or the plan, I was never planned to for this to happen this way. So my plan was, okay, I'm gonna save money, I'm gonna apply for a visa, blah blah blah. I'll see. And probably if I did that, maybe I wouldn't make it in the Philippines. Philippines. So they giving people options. Do you want to continue another account or do you want to go to the Philippines? So I was not worried if I'm not going to be picked or not because I know my numbers. So I can survive a silver plate. Like it came to me like the company will shoulder everything. And I was worried about saving money for that. And of course, when they offered me that, I pretended that like I don't care, but I really care so much. So I was like, um, I'm not sure. Let me see my. Because you know, sometimes when you show people that you're excited about something, they ruin it for you. Anyway, so I came here at night, and it was really nice. Yes, or the other way. But when it's traffic anywhere anyway. But I was happy to enter the country at night, and I think we took the road that with toll gate because it was a bit early because Queen of Bollywood, but also they have some Egyptian and Arabic and other stuff. So the company booked for us, all of us there. So it's just so far everything is nice, right? So imagine the first thing you see the airport. Whoa, it's really amazing. I never I never really had any bad impression about the Philippines anyway, because other people would say, "Oh, what countries?" You know, like we had always good impression about people unless. So I was happy to see, but I know for a fact when I saw the airport in the Philippines, I know for a fact there was no Uber or Grab or anything at that time. So green belt. So far, you have no problem. And then from green belt, yeah, it was a fancy life. I don't know why they give us this special treatment, but anyway, yeah, I understand SMEs and supporting. He was Indian guy, and he was our manager or the business director in Egypt. So he kind of taking care of us. The airport is amazing. Second impression, transportation is easy, but of course, in reality, transportation is not easy. And then after that, and then we go to the site in Carmona. You see, in Carmona is even better experience. Called Governor's Road or something. Barangay called Southwood Manor, I guess. It's in Carmona. So he didn't really have any opinion because so far everyone around me are Egyptians. Yes, we're supporting the teams and they are Filipinos, but our relationship with them is you are the support or you are the SME and you are the agents. And we're not making friends yet. And then I started my own experience by myself in the Philippines, and it was the best. Super clean, most likely. So everyone taking care of the part in front of their house. So it's always clean. Unlike if you go to the city, uh, most of the people living in the city are renting, so they don't give much of. That's why you have to pay, I guess, because someone will do it for you because they know people wouldn't do that. People who are living in Legazpi village in Makati, they were complaining that those who came to celebrate in Makati, they left the it's called Washington Park. They left it with trash. See, even though Philippines is hot, but I just enjoy walking in the streets. It's hot, but it's clean. So yeah, it's really people here are very organized, and unlike Egyptians, we're not organized. That's why one of the comments I got on my other, and I said probably we have, but when you see something nice, you have to say it. For example, I get a lot of job offers in Gulf countries, GCC, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, but I don't want to go there. I'm happy here. I mean, for me, I think Philippines even more advanced than these countries. Of course, they have cities like Riyadh, or of course, everyone agree Dubai is something, right? But Philippines is not. They're not joking. Philippines are they are on the right track, and I wish one day it become Singapore. And I think the current regime, I respect President Duterte for taking some actions, trying to show to the world that no one can control us. It's our destiny, and this is really beauty. Some people don't understand that. Same also in Egypt. There again, sometimes you will see people like saying negative things about our president, but they don't see the big picture. So that's what I learned. That's why I don't really talk about politics. It's a deep topic, and in her face. Yeah. Hmm. That's why I feel like the Philippines deserve more credit globally. But also, I believe there are certain countries that they call themselves a first world country. They don't want the Filipinos don't know what they are capable of doing. In Egypt, we are also labeled as a third world country, even though we had 7,000 years of civilizations with the Pharaoh, ancient Egypt, and we were leading the world. And Cairo, maybe like one of the first cities, was established in the world when there was no US and there was no Europe, none. It's funny that my first experience with ATM. So apparently, this is globally normal that when you withdraw your money, right, the one next you is actually giving a space for your privacy, and there'll be a lane, right? And I was like super comfortable here in the Philippines with this. Like, wow, super organized and privacy and all of that. In Egypt, if I'm withdrawing money from my ATM, because you traveled abroad, now you're talking bad about us. No, I'm just being fair. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, who am I kidding? I'm not really a traveled person. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. 30 minutes. Okay, Lisa. Okay. Milestone. Milestone. Popular restore chat. I didn't know that the OFW having troubles in Middle East. That's very sad. Not fair. Not fair. I'm getting a lot of heat on many cases. That's how I see it, okay? Poor country. Your poor countries, literally. And then suddenly they found oil and they changed the game in the world, okay? Sometimes too much money is not good. Even if you see it on smaller group like families, sometimes there can create a criminal. That's too much money is. And when you go crazy, you do crazy stuff. That's the story of the Gulf countries. Not, of course, everyone is bad there, but don't convince me that all these Filipinos having problems in Gulf countries, it's a coincidence. And from my understanding, when you work in these countries, you don't really have time to do anything else in your life. So, for example, if you work in a corporate in the Philippines, a corporate world, right? You work 9 hours, and you get like 1 hour, 1 hour and a half break, right? It would be fair if you go to work in one of these countries, right? And they pay you. I'm not sure about the salaries there, but for so many cases I heard, I told myself, how come they can get more than that if they live in their own, if they working in their own country, but maybe no. And let's say that they are getting whatever salary there, but let's say they work in 9 hours. 9 hours. Of course, this is not true. They work way more than that. But even if they work in 9 hours, when they go home, they have the time to work on themselves, to make their English better, to learn a skill. But you don't even get the chance to do that. So now you spend is the main thing here to get a good salary in the Philippines. Actually, anywhere in the world, but I care about Philippines. This is why I'm talking about it specifically. And disaster. I'm not gonna call it even bad news. A disaster. I don't know who shaped who. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is sickness because there's no normal person who will do this to a human being. If you do this to a human being, shaving a woman, not even a man, a woman's hair, which is the most, it's the crown of every woman is the hair, and you're taking this away from her. This means this person who commit this crime, she is not a human. Well, she's labeled as a human, but she's an animal. That's why too much money is really bad idea. We've seen it in Hollywood. Remember this kid from Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin? And he's American. And that's what money did to him, went to drugs, right? So too much money in early age and too much money in general. I mean, too much money that your brain can observe, your brain can accept. It's not good. So every time I pray to God that I want a lot of money, I kind of reconsider my prayer. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to tell you, oh, no, I am different. If I have a lot of money, I'm going to do a lot of good deeds, blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't know that, and I'm not willing to risk it. We're doing fine. So, anyone watching from the Philippines? Or where are you at? Okay, you're going to keep watching in silence? No problem. Yeah. Let's talk about the foreigners who live in the Philippines. I don't like most of them, especially those come with a different skin color, and they have a passport says we're a first world country. See in their eyes, they don't want to accept that the Philippines is amazing. They don't want to accept it. You can see in their eyes, they pretend that they're not amazed. They got issues. When you see something good, you should talk about it. But yeah, if you're born in first world, they call themselves we're a first world country, and they are the one labeled us, like Egypt, Philippines, and other countries around us. They call us third world country. They decided. One day they wake up in the morning and, let's call them third world countries. I'm just curious, who is the second? No one talk about the second. Maybe there is no such a thing. Because if you are labeled as a second world country, we will be close to one. So you want to make sure that we are very far. So third world country. 4? No, too far. So let's make it 3. So no one will accuse us with being racist. That's so funny. And most of them who come here in the Philippines, of course, I understand that 1 USD is 50 pesos. I understand that. but of course, they feel that they are rich here, but back home they're even below the average. But it's the attitude, low salary, and when I found out how much he's making out of them, it's just not fair. Someone making millions, and they will hire Filipinos for very low salary. Like Philippines, it's not, the groceries are not cheap, electricity not cheap, just to cover the basics. I'm not saying that they will have a studio or a condo in BGC. I'm just saying to have a stable life. And I don't get this person, but I don't want to bring his name or the name of the company because I used to work with him. I was the business director of his company. And when I saw the gap between my salary and the rest, because my salary was like higher than this is not the image that he made. He was able to sell me his company. He was able to convince me he has a great purpose, saving jobs, blah blah blah. When I saw the gap, because I was doing certain things. I was a corporate lawyer of the company and the business director, so I had access to documents. When I saw how much he's paying everyone in the company, it changed the way I'm seeing him, and I couldn't smile in our calls when he call us from US. Usually it's a video call, but it's it was sad. If I get the chance to speak to every single individual in the company and tell them, listen, you're way better than this, but he play with the contracts. What he does is he make a Filipino sign on agreement. In the beginning, of course, I had to follow the employer and okay, don't worry about it. I'll take care of this. I'll go to the the handbook and see the legal actions. But when I realized that the pattern keep repeating again and again and again, I said to myself, wait a minute. People leaving for a reason. They're not violating anything. Something fishy, something wrong. And when I got access to documents to potential, they understood their worth. When you see like, oh, okay, so I'm actually good and I deserve better than that. But the contract is stopping me because you can see that you can get better deal other companies, but they wouldn't let you go easily. And that was very sad. I tried to talk this. I talked this through actually. I discussed this topic before, but I got attacked by the company. So yeah, and I was reported, and so many things happened. But of course, I ignored all of that because I know where I'm standing. That's the beauty about the law. When you understand your rights, no one can touch you. That was the beauty. This is how much I appreciate my degree. It's an eye opening when when you know that you're not violating anything, when you know your rights, when you understand that the person in front of you is actually violating your rights. That's why understanding the law, not only for lawyers, no. It's complicated if you are dealing with if you are running a company and you have franchise every country in the world. Yeah, so I just don't like these people, this kind of foreigners who they say they're want to save jobs in the Philippines, and they're not saving jobs in the Philippines. They're abusing Filipinos financially. Yeah, that's the that's the truth about what they're doing. Yeah, yeah, because they cannot afford to invest in, they cannot afford to hire people from their country. They can't. They just can't. Anyway, family is number one. Families comes families come number one priority. Same. Philippines think the same way, and Egyptians. Uh, I don't know why I'm looking this. Philippines is here, Egypt is here. Joke lang. Last mo na yan. So that's one thing. Other thing, we are both 100 million. Filipinos are over 100 million people, and Egypt also the same. Maybe Egypt is bigger. You'll see Egypt is big. Uh, yeah, so, and those are two main common things between Egyptians and the Filipinos. So, the Egyptian guy who cut his girls to the Philippines, do you see what the mother did? Because the flight is very expensive from Egypt to the Philippines, and the flight is super long. It can be up to 23 hours, and she did. Yeah. Yes, I'm talking to you. Okay. Salamat po, which means thank you, sir, or ma'am, or yeah, po can be. Yeah. And that's it. That's it. Now I need to go live on my Arabic channel. My Arabic channel is Alpha Arabia. But I didn't say to anyone that I'm going live, but I'm gonna just, like what I did here, short notice. Yeah. So, but the problem with this is, okay, let me cover this really quick. This last sip of the tea. In India, they call it chai. In Egypt, they call it chai. The rest of the world is tea. Hmm. So the problem with this is, most of the people who are actually learning the language, any language, they go with the grammar, and this is the wrong start. Because if you realize how baby learn the language, they hear a lot, right? And the more you hear a lot, you don't teach the baby a grammar. They just listen to their parents on the TV, the videos. So I always believe that when you listen to a proper English, how do so that's how I was able to do this. And people get shy to record for themselves, and then they listen to themselves. People get shy to talk in front of the mirror and stuff like that. And that's it, right? And this is wrong because you're watching the movie for the purpose of learning. So people always get distracted with this. They enjoy the movie and they forget about that they're learning. Yes, of course, you listen to a proper English and everything, but you're supposed to watch and then pause and then you try to imitate the one in front of you, blah, 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 and things like this. And that's what people are missing. You have to listen a lot, imitate a lot. Like 2 days ago, I was showing people something on one of my broadcasts. So I told them, okay, so this is how you do it. First of all, I wanted to act. Act. Pretend that you speak English. I know it might sound funny and stupid in your head, but this is how you do it. So I said, go to google.com. After that, go and click. There's a bar on the button of the click on about, and you will see in front of you a sentence. The sentence says, our mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. So I'm telling them you have to act. So they want to know, what do you mean act? I said, okay, now I'm gonna read the same line, but I'll pretend that I am Barack Obama. So I'll read it this way. Our mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible. Millions of people are watching. He's not in an interview. So you have to pick a character that's not famous. Yeah, it's funny, but that's how I did it. My first interview in a company called Teleperformance, and I'm saying Teleperformance, it felt I'm fluent. Of course, after I passed, I had no choice but to work hard on my language. I was just imitating it's a movie called August with the guy called Josh Hartnett. That's the name of the actor. And there was at the end of the movie, there's a speech, and he's saying, "It's great to be here. We get invited to these things all the time, but we never go. Except this one is special because of you, because of Jason." I'm saying this is the script. So I changed it I tweaked it a little so it will sound like my words, because there's no Jason in the room. The same time in front of two girls. That's in Egypt. So I tweaked it a little, and so everyone get their chance, right, to talk and introduce themselves. But I killed it. Something that you have to learn when you talk to someone, if you're shy, and even if you're not shy, you don't want to feel awkward. If you don't want to feel awkward, you look in the forehead, because once you get the eye contact, you will get, even if you're not, especially if you're not good in English, you'll get panicked and kind of frozen. Don't do eye contact. It's creepy, that's one. Two, not comfortable to the one who was speaking. Even if they will look to you in the eyes, don't look back in the eyes. Look in their forehead, so they will never distract you. So I was like, of course, I'm prepared. I know the script in my head. So I was like, so I introducing myself, right? So I'm not gonna say, oh, my name is Adam, I'm there, blah, 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 blah. No. Calm down. So I say in front of everyone. I said, I used the script. So I was like this. First of all, it's great to be here. I get invited to these interviews all the time, but I never go, except this one is really special to me because this company, Teleperformance, and I really wish that I'll be a part of the team. I killed it! Because the script was pretty much closed, but I had to tweak it because I said there's no Jason. There's other stuff in the script that I did not use because the guy said that I came for the free shrimp. They're not gonna give you a free shrimp. So you have, even if you're gonna imitate or lie or pretend, not lie, it's not lying, you're trying to work on yourself. So you have to be, right? You cannot say a script word by word. But why I use the script? First, I saw it in the movie. I know how the guy felt. I know how the character sounded like. I've seen his confidence, so I'm copying everything, all the body language that he's saying or using in the movie. I was copying it. Of course, that's how I imagine myself, but it's still, I'm not there yet. But you have to create this character because I don't believe that model, right? So I made an ideal character, how I've seen and I hope myself to be. Language, I start to become who I was hoping to be. And then I became Adam again. I'm talking to you right now. This is me. I'll talk just like that. If I'm talking in the Arabic language, same. Or the Egyptian language or our slang, same. But there was a gap in my life that chasing my dream, and it's still me, but I am very far. And I'm trying to reach myself to get into my character again, to come back. And then when I became who I want to be in this certain things, because there's other things I did not achieve yet in my life. But for this, when I did it, and I tried to go back to my normal life, of course, I missed a lot. But seeing myself now and everyone else that I used to know, I feel I'm in a better position than them. That's it. Thank you very much. See you in a different vlog or broadcast or live.